Moving on to a rivalry from literally the 80s, right? When you think about Philadelphia and the Celtics, there's so much history here in terms of battles and intense basketball. When you think about the East in the 80s, you think about these two teams. Like these two teams come up to all wow, like just the I think it was 1981 when the Celtics overcame a 3-1 deficit against that Philadelphia 76ers team with Bobby Jones and Doug Collins and Dr. J and all those guys back in the day, Larry Bird and wow, Tiny Archibald, all these guys in their series. And then you go further, you have Dr. J, and of course he's punching Bird, and you see all that happening. And yeah, Andrew Toney, Boston Strangler. You just think about all these guys here that in the history embedded in this series, this one series. And especially even recently with Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum. The past couple of years, the Celtics have been able to get the upper hand on the Philadelphia 76ers. And it's going to be a battle for supremacy in the Eastern Conference, right? Like you think whoever wins this series is most likely a shoe-in to get to the NBA Finals. And I hope, of course, that it's the Celtics, of course. But you can't count on Joel Embiid, who has been a problem all season, most likely the MVP this season. And looking at his trajectory, he's a little hurt right now. I believe he has a right knee sprain. And seeing if he can go in this series, and hopefully he's able to go because I want this to be good basketball and entertaining, and I want to see a battle. That's what we want to see, ultimately see. But whoever wins this series is probably the most likely candidate to be in the NBA Finals. And you're just looking at it and just seeing, of course, the Celtics have had the Sixers numbers the past couple of years in multiple series, 2018, 2000, no, 2020, 2018, I believe. Yes, 2018, 2020, and they've just been able to dominate. Brown and Tatum have been able to do whatever they wanted against the Philadelphia 76ers. Just the more depth. Like I think this team, the Celtics, are going to provide a little bit more trouble than anybody else against the Sixers, right? They have big wings in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They have Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, who can control the backcourt, switch, play defense, play in the end of the lineups. The Celtics really don't double Joel Embiid in terms of, well, they do double him, but in certain situations, they don't really attack him. They kind of do single coverage, kind of bait him in, do certain things to make him uncomfortable, play the passing lanes. And just make it difficult for him. And it's just really the only counterpart for here for the Philadelphia 76ers is James Harden. Can James Harden be that explosive guy that we saw in Houston all those years? Not with the nagging hamstring injury that he had in Brooklyn and in Philly. So you're just wondering if he's going to be able to step up. And it's really about the others for the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid is going to get his points. He's going to get his rebounds. He's going to put pressure on the defense. But can James Harden, can Tyrese Maxey, can Tobias Harris, George Niang, guys of that nature, guys like that, can they make enough shots? Can they provide enough difficulty for the Boston Celtics in order to make Joel Embiid the most effective? That's the question. Can they do that in that type of series? Can they do that? And I really don't think so. I think the Celtics just have too many answers right now, and it's going to be a tough series, of course, but I think it really relies on Joel Embiid's health. And if James Harden can return to form and get these other guys involved as much as he does himself, and James Harden has been better the second half of the season, providing points and scoring, being a better guard. I believe he's going to make All NBA, I think third team or one of these teams at the guard spot. I think he's earned that spot with his play. But of course, how James Harden is now judged is basically by the playoffs. Are you going to come up short again? Are you going to go missing? Are you going to go disappearing? All these rumors about, hey, you're going to Houston in the offseason. Oh, that's rumbling out there. Is that going to happen? And it's going to be interesting to see how he plays because James Harden is going to have to go up against Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, Jaylen Brown. The Celtics are going to throw multiple looks at him. And it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that, right? Can he handle the pressure of those guys attacking him, a hobble Joel Embiid? Like if Joel Embiid can't go, can you step up and really lead your team without him? And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, from the Celtics perspective, Are they going to be able to put Joel Embiid in those pick and roll situations to really test his knee, to test his injuries, to test how he's moving? Are they going to get him in foul trouble? How are they going to guard James Harden? All these things going into this series is going to be, I think, leaning the Celtics' way. I think the Celtics have a little bit more balanced offense. I think the Celtics can do a little bit more defensively, especially on the perimeter against James Harden and others. Tyrese Maxey, all these countering parts here, like Tyrese Maxey, can he have a big series and kind of elevate the Philadelphia 76ers from that standpoint? Can he provide be enough of a gnat, enough of a problem on the offensive end to give the Celtics a little bit more of a rotation issue, guarding up straight up, doubling Joel Embiid? Can these other guys make shots? Can PJ Tucker, can Tobias Harris, can these guys provide enough flexibility for them to score enough, to win enough? Is there enough balance there to give Joel Embiid help? That's really, really the only question mark for the Sixers is, can they do that? If they do that, they give themselves the best chance to win, right? They really do. I think they have a chance here, and especially with the way Joel Embiid has been playing. If James Harden can up his play, those are question marks there for the Philadelphia 76ers, but if they are able to answer those, they have a real shot at being the Celtics. They got to get themselves a chance here, and they have Joel Embiid, who's just going to basically get his numbers. You know, he's going to get his numbers, pound inside, shoot from the nail, the mid-range, score in that nature. And if he's able to go, maybe the extra break helped him. Celtics losing game 5, extending that series a little bit. Does that help him? And especially, I don't think that they play until Monday. So that's a long time for Joel Embiid to be off, but it's also giving him a lot of rest and seeing if that can help him be 100% for game 1. And he's not going to be 100%, of course not. Now, a lot of guys aren't. But if he's able to be better than expected, they give themselves a chance. And I think Philadelphia can live with that. But from the Celtics standpoint, I just think the Celtics just have too much. I don't think Philadelphia can compete in terms of I don't think Philadelphia can win 4 games against the Boston Celtics. That's ultimately what it is. Yes, I have the Celtic green on, I have the hat on, and yeah, I just don't think they can do it. I think Boston has too many answers. I think the Atlanta series might have woke them up a little bit. Hopefully woke them up. And hopefully the Boston Celtics can continue this ride. I think the Celtics are going to win this in 6. I think Philadelphia is good enough to barge and fight enough to get 2 games out of this. And I think the Celtics are going to win this in 6 and go on to the Eastern Conference Finals, potentially against the New York Knicks. Finally, potentially even another rivalry happening. Like, there's so many rivalries here, so many intertwined players on this in these semifinals in the Eastern Conference. You got Jimmy Butler battling Tibbs. You got Jimmy Butler's history last year with the Miami Heat against the Boston Celtics. You got Jimmy Butler's history with Philadelphia, Philadelphia's history with Jimmy Butler. The New York Knicks and Philadelphia, they haven't been too friendly this season, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with these 2 teams. But I got the Knicks and Celtics in 6 in these series to meet in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see how that goes down, and it's going to be a great series. This is rivalry in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and I can't wait to see it. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time.